But financially, mostly, from what I see, because it's all about everyone wants to be a big shot, but they got to pay the price. They have to know how to handle defeat.
I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference, almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight.
Mike Tyson is not staying quiet about Jake Paul's bold statement of being able to beat Gervonta "Tank" Davis. The former heavyweight legend, known for his blunt nature as much as his knockout power, called out Paul after the YouTuber-turned-boxer claimed he could take down one of the most dangerous fighters in the game. Tyson, who has shown both support and criticism for Jake's career, made it clear that fighting someone with Davis's skill is no joke. He strongly reminded Jake about the huge difference between online fame and true boxing greatness.
Surprised because it sounded like Jake Paul and Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumours of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumours about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
The fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is set for November 14th at the Casa Center in Miami, Florida. It was first planned for Atlanta, but the location was changed after the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission raised concerns about the big weight gap between the two fighters.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight. And now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this. But Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
Jake Paul comes into the fight with a record of 12 wins, 7 of them by knockout and 1 loss. He has turned his influencer popularity into a real boxing career by taking on big crossover bouts and building strong business ventures around the sport.
Like so fucking insecure, kind of lost myself in the whole entertainment world. And so when I found boxing, it gave me that like routine, that discipline. I got to like take time for myself in these boxing camps. And every day for training, I had to like meditate. And boxing gave me the ability to like reflect on myself and like realizing who I was and who I wanted to be. And that helped me mature. You get addicted to that validation from others. And that's something that I realized that I had to face. And like, why do so many people want clout? I'm not good enough. I need followers. I need likes. It's driving a lot of our generation because they're working so hard to get this external validation.
Gervonta Davis is unbeaten with 30 wins, 1 draw, and numerous knockouts. He currently holds the WBA lightweight title, but that belt will not be at stake because of the major size difference. The fight is being billed as an exhibition, which means many of the usual rules of a professional match like round length, weight limits, and other regulations are more relaxed and can be adjusted based on the commission that approves it.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
After our second fight. You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Who do you think will win between Jake Paul and Gervonta?
But I don't know. It should be Gervonta, right? But the weight size and everything, we'll see. It's a fun entertainment.
Mike Tyson, who has already stepped in the ring with Jake Paul, has reportedly advised caution as Paul gets ready to face Davis. Tyson knows well the pressure and intensity that come with fighting Paul, but he also understands the serious danger of going against someone as skilled and explosive as Davis. While Paul holds advantages in size and youth, Tyson believes Tank's speed, sharp technique, and knockout power make him a serious threat no matter the weight gap. His warning shows concern that Paul might be taking the challenge too lightly. For Tyson, the fight will surely attract huge attention, but he emphasizes that Jake must balance his legacy against the real risks to his health.
Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that. But Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
Eddie Hearn has raised strong concerns about Jake Paul's fight with Gervonta Davis, saying it is more than just entertainment. He warns that the matchup is uneven in size, risk, and safety, and that Paul could end up seriously hurt. While he admits the fight offers huge money and public interest, Hearn believes the mismatch could leave Paul badly beaten and ruin future plans like a fight with Anthony Joshua. He points out that even with the massive commercial value, the danger cannot be overlooked. Though he calls the fight a 50-50 chance, his real message is clear: Paul is risking much more than his record in this fight, as his health is truly at stake.
Gervonta's going to fight Jake Paul in November. And then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. Be interested to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit of business.
I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think that's the only reason we're going to see this fight. But I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of...
Carl Froch, the former super middleweight champion, has voiced major safety concerns about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis exhibition, pointing to an estimated 65-pound weight difference. Froch explained that Jake Paul has been fighting close to the cruiserweight limit of about 200 pounds, while Davis competes at lightweight around 135 pounds.
I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he does so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level, and then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different...
Froch argued that in professional boxing this fight would never be licensed because the danger is too great. He stressed that Davis has never taken punches from someone with the size and power of Paul, and that even one big shot, especially a wide swinging punch, could cause serious harm.
He mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proves time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
Froch believes Davis has the skill, movement, and pacing to control stretches of the fight, but doubts he has the power to seriously hurt Paul. Even so, Froch sees the unnatural weight advantage Paul carries as making the matchup dangerous.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in, and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Meanwhile, unlike many others, Chael Sonnen does not see the matchup as badly mismatched as people think. On his YouTube channel, he said it is not nearly as bad as the talk about Jake Paul facing Anthony Joshua. Still, Sonnen highlighted one big problem: Davis does not know how to sell a fight. He argued that Tank cannot promote or hype a matchup, whether it is for a title or a main event, which makes the fight less appealing from a marketing perspective.
The exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So, there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title.
Joe Rogan has often defended Jake Paul's legitimacy in the ring, saying most criticism comes from his celebrity background rather than his actual boxing ability. He notes that Paul has shown good technique, real power, and effective offense, and that nothing in his fights has looked fake or staged. Rogan believes that even many early doubters are now starting to accept Paul as a legitimate boxer.
Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul if he wasn't this YouTube guy. He was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. Knock him out with one punch like that. You're like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.
Critics say Jake Paul's recent moves, including his win over 58-year-old Mike Tyson, show a troubling pattern in his boxing path. Many believe choosing to fight an aging legend was more about spectacle than a real test, raising doubts about his seriousness in the sport. Figures like Carl Froch have brushed off Paul's showing as short on true skill, suggesting his rise is built more on entertainment than athletic ability.
Jake Paul, you've lost your mind if you think you can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua. Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, cool. Anthony, he took a big L with Daniel Dubois. But Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. He's not a joke. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He took a L there, but Jake Paul, I got the utmost respect of what he's done, how he's managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening, it's positioning, it's marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face to face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for a fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's gonna fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly gonna be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3, because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
There is increasing talk that Jake Paul could face Anthony Joshua in a major showdown, possibly in early 2026. Paul's manager Nakisa Badarian has confirmed that discussions are underway with Wembley Stadium and other big venues being considered. Paul has continued to call out Joshua, expressing confidence that he can score a huge upset.
Everyone's been wanting to see happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the United... Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight. And what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money. Get in there. Make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight like...
Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has shown interest, saying the fight could draw huge attention and payoff. Critics warn that Joshua could risk his legacy by facing Paul, who is still seen by many as more of an entertainer than a serious contender. Meanwhile, Paul is using the buzz to gain momentum, presenting himself as an unpredictable threat in heavyweight boxing.
Still about AJ ever so quickly. I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions. He's putting the hard spars in. He just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed-up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight. But they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, you know, a massive chunk of money? Probably. I'd be saying.
Stephen A. Smith has often criticized Jake Paul's choice of opponents, saying many are not active top-level boxers or are past their prime. He believes Paul has yet to prove himself against the current elite. In response, Paul has said he tried to fight Tommy Fury, but Fury turned down his offers, noting that fight would have been a true test. The February 2023 bout with Fury became one of the rare times Paul faced a fully professional boxer in his prime. Paul lost that fight by split decision, marking his first and only defeat so far against an active and established boxer.
Are beating up on dudes who don't box. They're not boxers.
I was on Disney Channel while these guys were winning UFC championships.
Okay.
You know, I was playing with Mickey Mouse while these guys were throwing arm bars and winning UFC championships. Everyone's, you know, analyzing my career, critiquing it, paying attention to it from day one, but you can't tell me who was Mike Tyson's first fight. You can't tell me who Muhammad Ali, who was his fourth fight. No one knows, but everyone's seen all of my fights. I tried to fight Tommy Fury. Yeah, I tried to fight Tommy Fury, and he backed out due to a rib injury. Undefeated, young prospect. He comes from the Fury family. You know, his brother's the heavyweight champion of the world. I tried to fight him, and he got scared.
Smith has openly criticized Jake Paul for deciding to fight boxing legend Mike Tyson. He argues that if Paul is serious about the sport, he should face opponents closer to his own age and level instead of challenging seasoned veterans with far more experience.
Hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really, really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please, with sugar on top. I'm interested.
What did you think about the fight, Jake Paul?
I hate it. And Jake Paul's starting to piss me off. Mike Tyson is 57 years old, man. Jake Paul been training with professional boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very, very, very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer. But then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers. Now he decides to fight a fighter, a real fighter, which is Tyson. But Tyson is 30 years older. Stop this nonsense of going against dudes that either ain't boxing or is 25 years removed from the sport.
Will Jake Paul's strength be enough to overpower Gervonta Davis? Or will Tank's skill prove that all the hype around Paul has been exaggerated?